Good boy. Oh, Drew, you're a good boy, buddy. So Drew's doing pretty well. He's just forging a little bit. We're making our way over to the dog park and see what he does. He's a little excited, but overall he's being a good boy. One thing that I do want to point out is for those who well, for Drew's owners, for anybody who's worked with me, we have follow-up sessions still, or anybody who wants to work with me in the future, is we don't yell, we don't really raise our voices. What you actually learn on the drop-off and the follow-up is, for the most part, we actually lower our voices. So the dogs are conditioned that when we lower our voices, that's either, we're more serious or maybe a correction follows that. Yeah, just so those of you who don't know, Drew was very difficult or almost impossible to walk down the street when there are other dogs around. I guess he kind of would pick and choose, but there are times when he'd just go pretty crazy. So we're actually next to the dog park, and there's not a lot of dogs here, but I'm sure that one of them will come running. It looks like he's maybe going to spot him. Okay, he just spotted him. He's doing pretty good. He definitely knows that they're over there. He's being a pretty good boy. A couple little whines out of him. Not bad. Just getting excited. So Francisco's doing some turns, correcting him a little bit. He's kind of keeping him, working a little down here. And you can see the dog park's over there. And then we're just working him on the line and the e-collar.
Come here.
Good boy, buddy.
Down. No, come here. Come on, boy. Down.
Much better. Good boy. There you go. He's sulky a little bit because he wants to go and bark at dogs and be obnoxious, but whether it's the owners watching this video or somebody else, when you take a dog that is used to being more out of control and doing what they want, you put them in that same environment or context or situation, and you make them manage their own behaviors, you are definitely going to see a different body language, which you're seeing a little bit with him. But as time goes by, if the owners are consistent, then that body language will change. He'll start to be more comfortable, and he'll know what to expect. Right now he's gone through a process of figuring out if he wants to comply or not. So that's sometimes where you'll see the conflict in his body language. He's also understands that there are consequences to the bad behavior. If he argues and resists a lot, then he experiences the correction or the consequence. When he starts to comply more and more, then he gets rewarded and praised for that, and that's when he starts to lean into that direction because it's much more enjoyable for him. Now, as he starts complying more with Francisco, he actually starts to have fun with it and enjoying it. And the dog park's still over here, and Francisco's actually giving him very... He just recalled him, but I didn't get it, so he'll probably down on his own.
Down.
Oh, there he goes, okay. But very compliant, and he'll start having fun with Francisco. So this is what owners need to do, is start exercising these repetitions and making it fun for him. Although I have very, very few clients that fail with their dogs. The ones that do are usually dogs are a little more difficult, and dogs that they don't really want to follow the program, they kind of resort back to their old ways with their dog. For the ones that it kind of doesn't work, it's usually dogs that are a little more difficult, and the client, they stop using the collar or they stop following the directions that I'm giving them, and it's just easier. Sometimes correcting those behaviors can be hard work. You have to try to keep in mind too is that we have not even had Drew for 2 weeks, and we're in a situation where this is more of like what we would do with our dogs. If there's problems, we work on them, we fix them, we work the dog through them, we show them what we want, we make them successful. So I actually tell every client this on the drop-off and on the follow-up training sessions, is that I want to encourage them and motivate them, inspire them to get their dogs out more, to do more fun with them, have more fun with them, to do things that you thought you couldn't do with your dog with the training, especially with an e-collar, because it gives you more remote control and it allows you to do off-leash stuff with them. You can do a lot of the things with them that you thought you could never do. It takes time and it takes some work, but there's no reason for a dog to be secluded to to a backyard or to a house, or a dog that can never go out and do anything. We take our dogs to beaches, we go camping, we go hunting, we go fishing with our dogs, off-leash dog beaches. What I want to say too about e-collars, a lot of trainers that don't believe in them, they really talk them down, and they just say that the trainers that use them are the devil and all these crazy things. They portray it as if we are taking the dogs out and just setting them up to fail and then shocking the crap out of them. But the reality actually is once the dog's trained on it, and that training can happen very quickly, we really don't use them very much. You know, once a dog understands that you can make lightning bolts drop from the sky and there's a minor consequence for a bad behavior, then the dog will really start to comply much more. Francisco's using it very little right now at all, and it's not even on a very high setting, and you can see Drew's actually having fun and starting to comply a lot more, which means you can do more with him. I mean, if it wasn't for the e-collar, because we're still over here by the dog park, if it wasn't for the e-collar, you know, he'd probably still be focused on the dogs, maybe, you know, lunging like he used to do on his back legs at the end of the leash. But now he's you know, way more focused on Francisco. He's not even looking over where the dogs are, and he's, you know, well, he's been back and forth now probably like, I don't know, 15 or 20 times, but he's actually starting to have fun and enjoying being out and fresh air. So for the Russells, I'm super happy for you guys. He's almost ready to come home. I'm going to get a couple more outings with him, and as long as you guys follow the program and put the work in with him, you're going to really have a blast with him. Just doing a little placing here before we go. He's being a good boy. He's listening. He's placing. He's downing. There's people here. There's not a whole lot going on, but there's some guys messing around over here and other people. Just go into what I talked about probably a week or two ago as far as placing is. You know, it's more than the act of placing, it's that we're showing the relationship that we have with him, which is that he does what we ask him, he does it quickly. You'll hear that when Francisco gives the commands, he pretty much gives it once. He might help him a little bit, but he's not raising his voice, he's not demanding, he's not yelling at him, and Drew's actually doing well. He's very compliant right now. He's being a really good boy. I don't know what that hand movement was, if that was from your karate days or something. I'm actually on my way to drop off Pixel and Ziggy, the little poodles. Training's gone very well with them, so I think the drop off is going to go very well, and they should be really happy with it. Yeah, as long as they follow through correctly with the training, I think that they'll be real happy with it, and I think the little guys will do really well, even though they could barely walk them before. They're walking pretty nice now. Hey everybody, sorry about that. I got excited because I just dropped off Pixel and Ziggy, and it went very well. Very well. They did very well, and I'm super happy, and I'm proud of them. Their owners seemed really on board, so that's really good. They went for a long walk. Normally they bark at people and get a little crazy, but they were actually doing really well on the walk, and the owners walked them quite a ways too, and they were really well. And the funny thing was that Ziggy, when he was with us, was the one that was kind of the tough guy and was always willing to challenge us. But when we got there, Pixel started getting a little bratty and challenging more.